I'm at a website called oneworldkites.com. And at this site, once you're there, you'll see there's a menu across the top here. Click on Accessories, and you will see Flying Line and Reels. Now, the flying line that they have at One World Kites is cotton thread, which is the most commonly used fighter kite flying line in the entire world. And this 9-cord means that it is stronger than, say, 8-cord or 7-cord or 5-cord thread. If you were to have it tangled up in both hands and you pulled your hands tight to try to break it, you could break it, but it would be very difficult to do. It's very strong, and it does not stretch. That's why cotton is such a good flying line for fighter kiting. Now, the Wardman threads here they're what's called glazed. They have an outer surface that's very smooth, and it feels really good in your hand, easy to grip. So I would suggest getting a Wardman thread if you're going to get a cotton thread. Now, the difference in these two is the length of the line. In North American fighter kiting, 400 yards, that's a lot of line. We don't use more than 150 feet at the most in our flying. Although sometimes it gets tangled up and knotted and you have to cut out a little section here and there and so on. But a 400-meter length, it will last you a long time. The reels we use in North American fighter kiting are called gator or hoop reels or spools, which is what these are. They're made with a flat surface on one side and a flared surface on the other. And the reason is we put these flat on the ground, and the line is able to flow freely without getting snagged on anything right off this flared edge. And they come in two sizes, a 9 and a 6-inch size. I use the 6-inch size and prefer it just because it's easier to pack around in its smaller dimension. But this is a super good price at $3. Really good price. Now, the other line that is commonly used in North American fighter kiting is made with Spectra. It's a braided Spectra, and there are many, many manufacturers of this kind of line. This is on Amazon.com right here, and if you were to search for braided Spectra fishing line, you would get a zillion different choices. I just picked this one brand here. I have not used it myself, but I've used many like it. And the thing with this is, if you use Spectra, you have to be aware that it is so strong and it, like cotton, does not stretch at all. But because it's so strong, the thin diameters of like an 8 or 10, 15-pound test fishing line would be so small that it would be very, very difficult to grip it firmly enough to be able to fly a fighter kite. And fighter kites don't pull very hard, so this stuff is slippery and small diameter. What I use is 40 and 50-pound test braided Spectra, not because I'm concerned about the line breaking because of my fighter kite pulling so hard. No, it's about my ability to grip it with my hands reliably so that it doesn't slip. Because if Spectra slips, it will cut your fingers deeply. Cotton line will do the same, but it's easier to grip no matter how much the diameter. So Spectra, you have to be a little careful and buy the diameter that makes sense for you. And here's Walmart even. Walmart carries many different braided Spectra fishing lines also, as you can see. There's lots of choices on Spectra. And today, most of the people who fly fighter kites and fly in line touch competition, whether it's an actual competition or just a friendly get together and two people flying line touch points, most of the time they use Spectra because it has a smaller diameter. It's even with a 40 or 50 pound test, smaller diameter than a cotton line would have. And it weighs less, it's lighter weight, so it has less drag on the kite and allows the kite to travel a little bit faster than cotton line would.